The Heartbeat Initiative, frankly, is an attempt to change the conversation about the dignity of life away from a conversation about abortion, which is a conversation of death, and into a conversation about the human being and the dignity of life. So it's a conversation that takes us into what it means to be human and what it means as a society to protect those who are most vulnerable in our world. It's my hope that ultimately through that conversation we will make abortion unthinkable rather than just illegal. It is so important that we value the dignity of every type of human being, so that all human beings are valued for their intrinsic worth and dignity given us by God. So when we talk about the conversation with life, I like to quote Iowa's Constitution as we stand here in front of Parliament that has excerpts from your Constitution written there. The excerpt from the Iowa Constitution that I like to speak of is Article 1, Section 1, when it speaks of the rights of the citizens of the state of Iowa. The first right listed is the right to life. I can honestly say that I can't imagine, even 5 years ago, let alone when I was a child, being in Europe advancing the cause of life just because I was willing to step out and do the right thing at home. This has been such an incredible experience, and I hope I have been able to be an encouragement to the people here as they have been to me. In Budapest earlier this week, a young lady came up to me and she said, "You're so brave." And I said, "It's easy to be brave when you're doing the right thing." So I guess I deal with opponents knowing that I'm doing the right thing, and I deal with them with grace, because frankly, the best way to manage opposition is to let them know that you care about them and that their voice matters, and that even when they're opposing you, they have dignity and value as well. It's so important that we continue to work with the three branches of our government, including the court system, even in this process that sometimes makes us frustrated and that we disagree with. It is the foundation of our nation. So in the United States, we have a federal system of government, so we have several states that have heartbeat laws and similar, but our system of government is set up so that we have checks and balances from three separate branches of government. Every one of the heartbeat bills that have been passed by the legislature, that has been signed into law by the executive, is currently in a status of limbo through our court system. Each of them have had injunctions placed on them from becoming law as they're being challenged in the courts for their constitutionality based on the founding and governing documents of our state and nation. I actually used this conversation in my closing comments when I debated this bill on the floor of the Iowa Senate. I talked about two heartbeats that impacted my life. The first, it was in 1995, and it was the heartbeat of my oldest son, Evan. I actually found myself 19 years old. I had just gotten married, and 2 weeks into my marriage, I discovered I was pregnant, and I was not ready to be a mom, and I did not wish to be a mom yet. I was unprepared. I was scared. But I went to that first doctor's appointment where there was a monitor placed on me, and I heard my son's heartbeat for the very first time, and I knew that he was a person and he was alive, and he wasn't my body. It was his own body and his own person, and he had value and dignity. And I juxtaposed that to the heartbeat of my father in 2002 when it beat for the very last time. And the man who raised me was no longer alive, he was dead, and that was evidenced by the lack of a heartbeat. Truly, the reason we went with a heartbeat is because the heartbeat is the indication of the human life. And it's important as a society that we embrace the value of each individual human being from the moment of conception to natural death. And we chose the heartbeat because that is the audible indication that a person is living.